Let's go. 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 It's Monday morning. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's see what the market has to offer us this morning. It's 8:30. Checking out what's available in the market because it's a whole marketplace. The market is a marketplace. That means you can go into the market and get what you want out of there. It's a marketplace. You decide what you want, you go in there and get it. It's a marketplace. You decide which thing interests you, you go in there and get some of it. Yeah, you can decide I like to just buy stock and hold them and just let them ride for a while. No problem. You go get it. You say, I really want a little more excitement in my life. So I want to go trade options. Maybe I want to trade weeklies. Maybe I want to trade dailies. That's a serious, excitement in your life. Maybe you say, I want to trade options, but I really want there to be a little more passive. So let me go out a month or a couple months. Maybe I want leaps where I can go out a year. You go in there and get it. Perhaps you're somebody who wants a little bit of everything. You like a buffet or a smorgasbord. They don't really call them smorgasbords no more. I know when I was growing up, we used to go, my Auntie Jenny would take us to this restaurant. It was called a smorgasbord. It's basically a buffet. But you might want you a smorgasbord and you want a little bit of everything. The market offers a little bit of everything. You just go get what you want. You go get what you want. That's why it's called a market. It's a marketplace. You go get what you want. If you want futures, if you want corn and oats and sugar, all the things that go with you. If you want that, you go get whatever you want out of the market. You just decide what you want and you go get it. You go get it. It's a market. This is why I don't understand. So many of us don't come or don't go and get into the market and figure out how we can pull 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Why don't you go in there and figure out how you can pull? If you go to the market and you pull out $25 a day, $25 a day is another $125 a week. Another $125 a week. That's another $500 a month. Okay? 120, you pull out $25 a day. That's $125 a week, which is another $500 a month. That's small. Every day. You just get $25 every day. That's $125 a week and $500 a month extra. And all you've done is pull $25, and pulling $25 out of the market a day is quite easy. Quite easy. I can show you with no stress. You can pull $25 a day out of the market with no stress. No stress, with very simple learning, minor learning. You can pull $25 a day out of the market. No, it could be very simple. But there are people who, think it's going to be difficult. It's not difficult. It's going to require learning, but everything we do requires learning. Any job you own, you had to learn. If you make coffee at Starbucks, you had to learn how to mix all the little coffee stuff. When people go up to Starbucks and tell you I want a one shot of this with that oat milk plus, Splenda, know this, know that, add this, add that, 3 shots and 4 pumps. Really? If you can be a barista at Starbucks, you can work in the stock market. I mean, because are you serious? Who remembers all of this? A triple shot, take away this, add that. Goodness, I could not do all that. Oh, wait, hold up. Repeat that again. People repeat and saying, and then they want to be mad if you didn't put the right milk in. You rattled off this order, Oh my goodness. Anyway, good morning, everybody. It's Monday morning. It is September 22nd. And we here, I'm Arlissa, educator to trader, and we here to see what the market has to offer us on Monday. I was just talking about how you can pull $25 a day out of the market, and that's another $500 a month. With very little effort, you can pull an extra $500 a month out of the stock market at $25 a day. I can show you how. It's very simple. Quite simple, quite simple. All right, let's go see what SPX 500 is doing right now. What does this chart look like right now? Let's see what it's doing before we move on into what's on tap for today. All right. Currently, SPX is at 66.41. It closed on Friday at 66.70, right around 60, the all-time high. We went to all-time high. I always want to say we, because I watch SPX all the time. So I feel like because I feel like we've been up there, right? When we've been up there, it closed on Friday. Just let me say we, okay? Y'all let me say we. On Friday, it closed at 66.64. Right, it closed there, but it went up as high as 66.72. This is where S&P closed went Friday 66.72. Just below that, it closed at 66.64 on Friday. It's currently at 66.41. So we've dropped about 22 points. It has dropped about 22 points since Friday's close. So over last night, this is ES is what's open. S&P 500 is not open yet. It opens at 9:30, but the ES futures is what is running now. And basically S&P is similar stuff basically, and we'll see. We can see S&P 500 to see what what S&P will do based on what the ES is doing. Good morning, Kev. Show this present teacher in Cali that want to be an ex-teacher like you. Yes, come on. E2T University is starting up today. It's starting up this evening. I'm running a 12-week program starting up this evening at 7 o'clock, Cali teacher. And I got some other people who are in E2T University from the West Coast that are joining us. But I'm going to teach it for 12 weeks. I'm going to teach everything you need to know to get your at least $25 a day. At least you can even more than that. We have people in my community now who pull hundreds of dollars a day out of the market. Definitely can pull 25. But yeah, E2T University, you can go to educatortotrader.com and get yourself signed up. Okay. So you can be an ex-teacher too, even though I'm still at the university for now. But it's only because I really tried. Am I not sharing my screen? I really tried to be done this semester, and I never did go in and talk to the dean, because by the time I got ready to go talk to the dean, he had already given me a whole load. He had already given me a whole false schedule. I hadn't even gone in. He didn't even ask me, was I coming back? He just automatically assumed I was returning and had already given me a full fall load. I was like, oh, okay. So I guess I'll go back. But yeah, this year will definitely be the last one we do this. So anyway, but there's that. We don't see a screen. Now we do. Okay, here we go. So I thought I was sharing my screen. Anyway, 71 is where S&P went up as high on Friday. It closed at 66.64. Now it's at 66.41 is where it is right now. This is the 5-minute chart showing you that it's just been pulling back. Went down as low as 66.36. And this is probably because of some news we've had, which I'll talk about that in a minute, at the CNBC stuff. On the CNBC page, there's some stuff that Trump has done over the weekend that's probably going to impact this. But looks like him and Musk might have made up, so that may do some stuff. Okay, so the VIX right now is at 1616. Well, the VIX being up a bit means that the market is probably down a bit. So 16, we were in the 14s and the low 15s last week. So the market was running up because the VIX was down. Now the VIX is up a bit. Market's probably going to be down a bit because we were at all-time highs. So now that's going to change a little bit. Let's look at Yahoo Finance. Oracle is going to control the U.S. TikTok algorithm in the Trump-backed deal. I think this is important, or this is, for Oracle for sure. Oracle has had a big run here recently, but they're going to control the TikTok algorithm, which I think is important. The deal goes further than earlier versions by having Oracle retrain a leased copy of the tech. Okay, so this is good. I think it's I won't go there. I was going to say, I think it's good that we're going to have TikTok with an algorithm that is, I guess it could be just as the same as what we see with any of the other algorithms of our social media platforms, because they all can send you foolishness. I mean, you can get foolishness from the Facebook algorithm or from the Instagram algorithm. Whatever you watch, they'll give you more of it. So your algorithm is going to give you what you want to see. So if you want to see crazy or foolish, then that's what you're going to see more of. That's how the algorithm works. But I think there's whatever. U.S. futures slip from records as gold soars. Gold is still golden, right? Crypto sink as a 1.5 billion and bullish bets get wiped out. Ooh. Trump's $100,000 visa targets a $280 billion India success story. Yeah, this whole visa thing, the H-1B visa thing is an interesting. There's something going on there. Trump's H-1B visa fee to hit U.S. employers with a $14 billion annual bill. I'd like to see how this is gonna run through our industry in terms of. I'm thinking our healthcare field is probably going to take a hit there, and of course we have other areas, but I think it's going to be, I think that's going to be an interesting set of fallouts. But hey, all this stuff is interesting. Switzerland in fresh push to woo Trump on tariffs. BYD stocks fall after report that Buffett sold the entire stake. Yeah, I knew that was going to happen. Once Buffett pulled out of BYD, it was going to be like, what? What does Buffett know that we don't? And everybody else is going to be like, I'm out. If Buffett's out, I'm out. Pfizer seals $7.3 billion deal for the weight loss drug Metsera. Pfizer. All righty. Okay. T-Mobile names Srini Gopalan as the CEO. Pfizer amps up the push into obesity treatments. Now, Pfizer is a name we know more so than the Hims. Hims is kind of a new player in this space, even though they've had a good little pump and run. But Pfizer is somebody they're more of a name we recognize. Hims is a new player on the game field, so that may make a bit of a difference to have Pfizer. On the playing field. Might be. Trump says Murdoch's deal likely part of the group buying TikTok in the U.S. U.S. agency wants to buy scandium oxide from Rio Tinto for defense stockpile. Sometimes I think we put too much stuff in the news. NVIDIA Intel partnership gets chip maker on Trump's good side. Renewable energy investing, how to play solar and nuclear. Okay. All righty. So there's all of that in Yahoo Finance. Let's move on to CNBC. Where's my mouse? Where are you? Oh, there we go. There you are. There you are. There you go. There you go. CNBC stocks making the biggest pre-market moves. Metsera. Who knew that Metsera was a stock? Oh, I didn't know that Metsera was even a stock. Compass, Kenvue, Fox, and more. Futures, Dow futures down 184, S&P futures down 23, NASDAQ futures down 94, oil is red, and 10-year bonds are red. Stock futures are fall, start the week after Dow, S&P 500 hit fresh records. That all happened last week. Trump's $100,000 H-1B fee sparks a global race to grab the top talent. Ooh. Big tech companies, foreign governments scramble after Trump slaps this visas thing. These are the U.S. states with the most and the least H-1B visa applications and renewals. India feels the sting as Trump slaps this $100,000 fee on H-1B visas. Trump administration reportedly plans to link autism to Tylenol use during pregnancy. I don't know if that's a link, but okay. Alrighty, let's move from there. I wanted to see what the other markets have going. Europe, all red except for the FTSE. Poor shares shed 8% after cutting their outlook. And Asia, the ASX 200, Nikkei, and Shanghai are all green, while Nifty 50 and the Hang Seng are red. Indian tech stock slumped nearly 3% after Trump imposes the H-1B visa. Everything is going with the H-1B visa. Let's go with crypto. Everything over in crypto is red. Bitcoin is down to 112,000. Ethereum 4185, Solana 222, Dogecoin 0.2397, and XRP 282. Metsera. I didn't even know Metsera was a stock. METSERA. Yeah, MTSR. I kept thinking, I think I've seen this ticker, but I thought it was the MicroStrategy, MSTR. That's where those two numbers, and I kept seeing it, but I was thinking it was MicroStrategy. Oh, MTSR is a $53 stock. Well, now it is. It was a $34 stock before this whole link up with Pfizer. It has done a jump. This is Metsera. Okay, Metsera has jumped right there in PFE. Pfizer also did a jump. I thought Pfizer was more than $24. Look like Pfizer might get the push. Metsera's a more expensive stock than the Pfizer. Okay, let's go look at Instagram and see the earnings. Earnings for this morning are Marty. And then afternoon, we're going to have Firefly and GenFit. Tomorrow morning, though, we've got AutoZone. Tomorrow afternoon, you got Micron, AAR, Worthington, Miller Knoll, and AYTU. The ones that are notable this week is KB Homes and HP Fuller. That's Wednesday afternoon. And then Costco is on Thursday. Those are, or CarMax is also Thursday. Those are probably the most notable ones for the week. All right. Let's go see what Adam has to say. Let's go see what Adam had to say this morning. Good morning, Ward. 1 minute we up, then we down. That's usually the way it goes, Janae. Good morning. Well, come on, put us on the screen. There we go. Adam is a level-to-level trader of ES futures, but we translate his information into SPX so that we can use it on SPX. On Friday, I posted SPX was flagging with 66.48 to 54 main target, then 66.59 to 66.65 bonus targets. We hit 66.70 bonus. Yes, we did. By Friday close. Yes, we did. Then began the routine Monday hangover. Yep, basically we're like, ooh, we've been to the mountaintop and now we need to just chill out. The plan today, 66.38 to 41 here all night is weak. It's the last shot. 66.51 is above. The bulls must clear this 66.51 in order to keep it moving. To keep it moving on up, the bulls must get past the 66.51. Otherwise, 66.28, 66.23 is below. The gap between SPX and ES is about 60 points. Okay, so what happens is the nomenclature of ES changes about every quarter, feels like, and but SPX remains the same. Good morning, Tanya. So SPX remains the same. So when the ES nomenclature changed, it creates a gap between ES and SPX. So the gap is now 60 points, but along the time, the gap tightens. It closes back in. So every day Every time I'm on here, I tell you how much the gap is. So that way, when you're looking at Adam's numbers on Twitter, you can continue to subtract and get the numbers that work for SPX. Okay. The XSP range is from 662 up to 667. At this point, 66.70 is the all-time high. That until we push past it, that's where the high is 66.70. You have to wait to see if the market can run back up there. If SPX can run back up there. At this point, it is at 66.45. That's where we are this morning. Okay. Adam says basically the bulls need to recover 66.41 in order to head on back up to the targets, which 66.51 I think is the next target. To go back to 59 and 65. Those were the lines. All right. Okay, that's what we got. Put those on. You put those lines and put those, targets or those lines, support, resistance, areas, zones, whatever you want to call them. Put them onto your chart. Last week, I wanted to share with you, we went over this last night. If you were on with me last night, last week's trade, these were my trades. I had 5 trades going with Peakbot, and these were all profitable last week. I didn't put out a list per se that I normally do, but I did tell you that these were the ones that I was trading, and they all were profitable last week. Woo woo! All profitable last week. Snap, snap. 2 snaps up. Yes, yes, and yes. This week, though, well, I wanted to also share this. I did a video on Friday of the my trade recap from last week. If you're on my YouTube channel, you can go ahead and look up this video. I want to go ahead and grab the link. So for those who are not on YouTube, you can see the video link, and you can grab it out of the comments if you'd like, and you can go watch the video. Last week, another 2,600 for September. Again, if you were watching me, y'all saw my August. I had a red August, which I think was good. It was good for me that I was afflicted. It actually is good because now that as we get ready to go into E2T University, it's really giving me real-time information as to how do you manage your trading psychology when you're quote unquote in a slump, when you're in a loss, when you are on a losing streak. How do you manage your trading psychology in the midst of a losing streak, and how do you come out of that? Because it's not easy, and trading psychology is a big thing in what we deal with when we're trading. How you manage your mentality, and that's why it's a segment. That's why it's a segment of E2T University. Trading psychology is a segment, or it's really going to be talked about as we go. It's not like a separate segment. We'll talk about it along the way. I may dedicate a week to it, that and risk management, because that all kind of goes together. But trading psychology is a big piece of this, because how you manage your mentals, right? You can have all the strategies you want, but if you can't manage your mind, and I can't even start to talk about the amount of emotional roller coasters you can take yourself on when you have lost or you are losing. Losing is literally what's happening, because you're losing money and you're not comfortable when you're losing money. Okay. And when you push the button, you hope, because you're hoping, I hope this turns out good, but your inside are going to flutter. You're like, I don't know is it going to be all right? Am I going to lose some more money? And then when all the things, it's a big deal. And your emotions go through a lot. All right. But there is a way for us to come out of it. And I'm glad that I'm going through, because I don't know if I've arrived, but this video that I'm showing you on the screen is where I I'm sharing with you the things I did last week and the things I do to when a trade is going against me. What do you do? Because there's things that you can do, how you manage your risk, your risk management. What do you do along the way? So watch that video. Made another 2,600 last week, bringing the total for the month of September so far to like 3,700 and some change, almost 3,800 for the month. Right? This is the stuff we teach. This is the stuff that I teach. E2T University is open. We're starting tonight. And if you haven't signed up, you a last minute person. I'm just going to wait till the last minute. I'm procrastinating. Procrastinate no longer. Come on. We've got almost 30 people who are signed up for E2T University. Get yourself in there. Okay, I'm not making these appeals because we're desperate for more people to join. I'm making these appeals because you need to come on. I don't need you to come on. You need to come on. I want you to be more consistent. I want you to be more confident in your trades. I want you to feel more comfortable that this is going to give you what you need. And I can help you get there. That's why I'm saying come on. Because I have people who I know what it feels like when you enter a trade and you're not sure. Or the stock is going against you. The candles are going against you and you get all nervous. I know what that feels like. But I also know that there's things we can do to get our confidence up. Right. And I'm going to help teach you and train you how to look at the chart and how to find more confidence in your strategy, how to find more confidence in your analysis of the charts. I'm going to help you with that. But you need to sign up for E2T University so you can get the learning. I can't teach you if you don't sign up. All right. All righty. So this is our list of trades for the week. We've got Apple, Affirm, Amazon, Google, HIMS is on our list. I mentioned it a little bit earlier. Microsoft are all on the put credit spread list. And McDonald's, Merck, and Procter & Gamble are on both lists because they are in a neutral trend. You can trade one side or the other, completely up to you, but they're on both sides. Okay, this is our list for the week. You can pick these off the list, jump into them today. Go ahead and, when you see these, let the market open today. See if you still agree with the strikes. These strikes were picked over the weekend based on what I can see over the weekend. We'll see how the market opens today and take a check and see if you still agree with these strikes and go with them. Okay. This is the list for the week. All right, let's go to the charts. Let's go see what the charts have to offer us in our pre-market. In our pre-market, all righty. Put us on the chart. All right, this is still SPX 500. Let's get a 15-minute chart here. SPX 500 is at 66.44. This is the SPX that we can see overnight because S&P doesn't show us itself until the market opens. It is currently between the 9 and the 20 period moving average. Got a lot of wicking up here on the 15-minute chart. Let's see what the 30-minute chart looks like. It's a little bit below this 100 period moving average. That's kind of telling. Below that 100, the 100 will act as resistance or support depending on where you are. But at this point, we're below it. So it will act as resistance. Affirm, we haven't traded that in a minute. That's true, Tanya. We haven't traded Affirm in a minute. So Affirm is bullish though, especially in this lower interest rate environment. Affirm is a lower 25 basis points. It's a positive in this environment. So we might want to take a look at it, huh? So this is S&P. Let's go look at the indices. Let's go check out SPY. What's SPY doing in the pre-market? SPY took a big old dip, baby, but then it recovered all of that. There was that gap. We marked a gap. I marked that gap. It must have been last night on our call. Did I mark that yesterday? Did we look at SPY? When did I mark that gap? Anyway, price dipped down there and closed it. That's what happened. Price dipped right down to the gap, to the bottom of it, and closed it, and it recovered right on back up out of it. That's how gaps are. The gap wants to be filled. Those imbalances want to be balanced back off. So it dipped right down to 657.39, grabbed it up, whoop, whoop, and recovered. So price is now on SPY is at 661. It closed on Friday at 663. It's a couple of dollars below the close on Friday, about $2. So at this point, SPY, we're about 30 minutes from the market opening. At this point, SPY is $2 below the close on Friday. So there's going to be a gap down open unless it recovers that territory, $2 in the next 30 minutes. All right. Triple Q, same thing. Triple Q had a gap that was underneath it. It also gapped down and recovered all of its gap that was here from 595 to, it wasn't a big gap, 595.30 to 595.80. It closed that gap as well. It is currently at 597.28, closed on Friday at 598.77. So it's also below where it closed on Friday. There's a gap down at this point unless it recovers over the next 30 minutes. There is that. And IWM is next. IWM closed on Friday at 242.96. Currently at 242.41, so about 50 cents below where it closed on Friday. Also currently below the 200 period, or is this the 100? I think that's the 100. I think that's the 100 period moving average, not the 200. Yeah, the 100, which is still on the 30-minute chart. Still, the 100 period moving average is a strong support and resistance because that's 100 30-minute periods, right? It's 100 of those. So it's going to play a strong support or resistance depending on where you are, right? Keep that in mind. Another thing that we will discuss when we're inside of our E2T University is how do we use moving averages? How do we use VWAP? How do we use regular gaps and fair value gaps? How do we use all these things? We're pulling all of that into E2T University, and how do you manage charting technical analysis? All of that can go together. I'm not a big fan of using a lot of indicators, but I will use the ones that are math-based. VWAP is math-based. Fair value gap math-based. Moving averages are math-based. I'm a professor of mathematics, so I want to go with the math-based ones, the ones that are statistics-based. Count me in on those, right? The things that are just anyway. Yeah, I'm on the math-based ones. Okay. IWM 242.32 is where it is. It's got a gap down open as well. All righty. That's where we are with that. Okay. Add to the stage. I'm getting ready to land the plane. I'm is. E2T University has 3 bonuses that are going to be given away tonight in our first session. I'm going to give away a one-on-one session with me, lifetime access to one of my trainings, whichever one the person chooses, and a free month of membership. Whether you're a member already or not, you're going to get a free month of membership, a month on me. You can sign up for E2T University at educatortotrader.com, at my website where all of my stuff is. All of my trainings, all of my everything is at educatortotrader.com. All right, let's go ahead to the declaration. I declare I'm a great trader, a successful trader, and a focused trader. I declare my wins exceed my losses and my account is growing steadily. I'm a wise and knowledgeable trader. I have a strategy that I use for my trades. I don't randomly place trades. I'm a level-headed trader who trades my plan and not my emotions. I don't trade my emotions. I have traded my emotions in the past, and sometimes I do slip back into there, but my declarations is I Do not trade my emotions. Okay. Lord, it's you who gives us the power to get wealth. Help us today to trade our strategy with wisdom and knowledge. Allow us to prosper enough to have what we need and enough to bless others. In Jesus' name, amen, amen, and amen. All righty. So I believe I've covered the pre-market prep for today, gotten us all prepped and ready. You've got about 30 minutes to go look at your charts, see what things you want to, keep your focus on for the day. If you are already in E2T University, please be sure to check your email, because you do have emails. You do have some things you need to do before this afternoon. If you have not signed up, but you want to and need to get in there, then come on and get in there. All right. Other than that, I will see my community in the chat. We'll be there trading together today. We're trading SPX and XSP like we do every other day. The membership is SPX, XSP. We trade those credit spreads every day together, and we pull in that our everyday credit spread 0 DTE. And if that's an area that you want to trade, and that you're ready to trade all of that, come on and join the membership. We got that going too. We got all kind of stuff going. All right. All righty. We got two things we're doing. We're staying green and we're getting this money. All right. I'll see you all in the market. Goodbye, everyone. Bye-bye.